Welcome, Ravens fans. If you are a Baltimore Ravens fan, you feel good right now. If you're a Cincinnati Bengals fan, you do not feel good right now. We'll be getting into that in 2 minutes on the flip. McFarlane, it's great to see you. I love you, man. Thank you. Thank you for your support, man. When we get started in 2 minutes. I'll tackle that in a minute. I'll tackle you in a minute. Literally tackle. That's absolutely crazy. That's absolutely crazy. All right, everybody, welcome in. Welcome into the Double R podcast featuring your boy Retro Recap. Welcome in, everybody, to the Double R podcast. This is your boy Retro Recap. And you know what? You know what? Put the camera on me, please. Put the camera on me, please. I got a smile on my face tonight. And I'm pretty sure you know why. I'm pretty sure you know why. I'm pretty sure you know why I got a smile on my face. Anytime the Ravens win and they beat you in dominating fashion, I'm always have a smile on my face. You know what I'm saying? I had no reason to get on here and bitch and complain like some of you may say on other programs. I'm on here to report the good news. And the Baltimore Ravens spanked the Cincinnati Bengals on Thursday Night Football. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. They spanked that Bengals hiney up and down, up and down, up and down. So, of course, I got a smile on my face. And if you are a Ravens fan, coming into Thursday nights, at home, in prime time, under the lights, we don't lose. We simply do not lose Thursday Night Football in the prime time with the black uniforms on. We don't lose. Was there ever a doubt that the Ravens were going to lose this game? Okay, yeah, a lot of people were saying, okay, you got lucky when you beat Cincinnati the first time because Joe Burrow was hurt. Well, Joe Burrow got hurt in this game. And we still whipped that ass. Now, real quick to you, Farline. I don't care about no game. I'm here for that retro love with that footlong. Would you like to see? Last I'll say about that. Baltimore Ravens fans, we beat the Cincinnati Bengals 34-20. Here are my opening thoughts. I mean, it was a lot going on in this game, man. It was a lot going on in this game. We had injuries, injury scares. It's like, damn. The Ravens can't catch a break. It's kind of bittersweet. We win the game, but we lose a crucial piece to the offense, and that would be Mark Andrews. Now, before I got on live, I had a chance to listen to John Harbaugh's press conference or post-game comments, and he said it looks like Mark Andrews may be done for the year. Now, of course, we don't have any concrete evidence or concrete word from the Ravens that he's out for the year. But John Harbaugh is basically saying, by the way it looks, he's done for the year. Every year we get that when we're rolling, we get that one major injury every single year that stops the Ravens from going or to living up to their potential. In my personal opinion. 2021, J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, Lamar Jackson towards the end of the year. Last year you had Lamar Jackson again. This year you got J.K. Dobbins. You got Mark Andrews. It's like, damn. It's always that one guy, a crucial piece to this offense, that just goes out for the remainder of the year. Just when the Ravens offense was starting to look like something like cohesion, and then that happens. Is that a hard team to beat? What team? Mark Andrews, Joe Burrow, even Lamar Jackson got us scared tonight. Lamar Jackson grabbed his ankle, grabbed his knee. Forgot what part of the team. The Cincinnati Bengals came into this game 5-4. They are a pretty good team. They was in the Super Bowl 2 years ago. They are a pretty good team. We beat a good team tonight. Offense, defense, everybody. But this game was kind of interesting because Joe Burrow didn't look too bad tonight when he was in there. He got some drives going. The Bengals had a couple opportunities. They got the first couple of drives. They got a field goal. They missed a field goal. They were driving again, and they scored a touchdown. They were moving the ball. You know, they were moving the ball. They had a 10-7 lead against the Ravens at one point. They were moving the ball enough to put points on the board. So who's to say what would have happened had Joe Burrow not got hurt? But woulda, coulda, shoulda. At the end of the day, the Ravens took care of business. They had one objective. It's not to go out there and look cute, win by 40 points. Not to go out there and look. It's a division rival. The games are going to be close. You've seen what happened in the Cleveland game last week, 4 or 5 days ago. Any given week, a team can come in here and beat any given team. The Ravens have to be on their P's and Q's the remainder of the season. You got your reality check. I predicted that the Ravens would beat the Browns. They did not. Reality check. Just when we thought the Ravens were really, 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 really good, we got a slap in the face with the Browns. 4 days later, rebound check against a very good Cincinnati team. That's a good team right there, the Baltimore Ravens. Because you just lost to the Cleveland Browns. 4 days later, you got to play another good team that was just in the Super Bowl 2 years ago, who has weapons. Sean Farline, thank you. Thank you for that, man. I appreciate that. Welcome into the Retro Recap WR podcast featuring boy Retro Recap. The Ravens played a good team tonight. Let's be real here. The Ravens played a good team tonight. So this was not a given that the Ravens were going to win. Yeah, they were undefeated in prime time, and yeah, Lamar Jackson is 7-1 against the Bengals in his career. Yeah. It's still the Bengals, and this is a testament to the Ravens coaching, the chemistry of this team, and the resilience to bounce back and beat a team like this. Because had you gone 0-2 in these home games, these 2 home games in 4 or 5 days, that would have been a good look. They handled business. I don't care how it looked. Let's get into the numbers of this game. So let's talk about the quarterback so far, the quarterback performance tonight. So Lamar Jackson was number 1 in the league in completion percentage coming into what week are we in? Week 10? Week 11? 16 of 26, 264. Efficient again. 2 touchdown passes, one to Nelson Aguilar and one to Rashad Bateman. That one to Rashad Bateman that he threw on the run after he made that play happen. Yeah, number one in completion percentage. Lamar Jackson, right? Everybody's saying he's not a quarterback, he's a running back. Lamar Jackson is number 1 in the league in completion percentage. Let that sink in. Let it sink in. Lamar Jackson, a guy who they said who couldn't throw the ball with accuracy, is #1 in the league in completion percentage. And like I said, Lamar Jackson, even though Mark Andrews is now gone for the year, Lamar Jackson hasn't had to be Superman this year. He can have games like 16 or 26, 264, and to the average fan, like, oh, okay. I mean, all right, 264, whatever. Lamar Jackson, that's a good game. He kept plays going with his feet. He got first downs. You know what I'm saying? He did miss a couple miss a couple deep ball throws, but he redeemed himself with one as well to OBJ. At the end of the day, the Ravens took care of business. Lamar Jackson, like I said, he does not lose to the Bengals. He's now 8-1 in his career. The couple of times where the Bengals were talking all that shit about beating up on the Ravens, Lamar Jackson wasn't even playing those games. You were playing against Tyler Huntley and Anthony Brown and Josh Johnson, and you were putting up 400, 500. I remember that one year they put up like 600 yards of offense, and all I kept hearing was the Ravens are garbage and this, and this. We had injuries everywhere. You see when we got a team, y'all don't stand a chance. Y'all got swept this year. Don't forget to like the video. Help me pay bills around here. The lights stay on. If y'all like the video, let's see if we can get a goal of 10 likes tonight, if that's possible. I'd love to see 10 likes on the video, on the podcast. I appreciate that. Dislike. Joe Burrow, 11 of 17, 101 yards. Didn't look too bad tonight either. Joe Burrow actually looked solid tonight. He looked solid tonight. Except he got hurt. All right. So let me just go ahead and hop right into my thoughts. Ravens, you survived the scare with Lamar Jackson. You got a scare with Mark Andrews. That sucks. Mark Andrews and Lamar Jackson, like Lamar Jackson said in the post game, they're like peanut butter and jelly. They connect so well that just having one piece missing is like just having the peanut butter or just having the jelly. You gotta have the peanut butter and the jelly to have a good sandwich. Yeah, it could be good with just jelly and yeah, it could be good with just peanut butter. But when you got both together, you create a gourmet, tasty sandwich. Now the peanut butter is gone, or the jelly is gone, but the peanut butter is still there. What does that mean? Lamar Jackson is good without Mark Andrews. He's great with Mark Andrews. That's the thing here. You got one piece of the cog, but you don't got the other piece. The beautiful thing about this year's team is that Lamar Jackson has weapons. OBJ, what we saw tonight, first 100-yard game as a Raven. Zay Flowers, Nelson Aguilar, Rashad Bateman, Isaiah Likely. This year, Lamar Jackson still has weapons. Am I mad that Mark Andrews is gone? Most likely for the year? Yes, I am. But at least this year you can say, okay, Andrews is gone. We still got at least 3 other weapons, 4 weapons, and we still got the running game with Keaton Mitchell and Gus Edwards. So I'm going to relax because we have weapons. Lamar Jackson has weapons. We were at full strength with Andrews. We have to wait and see how this offense looks going forward without Andrews. I should be the one doing the foosball reaction, being as I know all the things about foosball. Then you add a banana and a griddle and you have me getting fat. Well, can you send a picture for verification of that? And then, okay, so Joe Burrow got hurt. He toward the end of the second quarter. He didn't play in the second half. Jake Browning came in and he was moving the ball for a little bit, but he's no Joe Burrow. And Zach Taylor was like, okay, even if Joe Burrow is gone, Jake Browning can handle the offense. But the Ravens kept putting solid drives. They closed out the second half, the first half really good. They came out in the second half and continued that same momentum. Field goal, touchdown. Gus Edwards is going crazy. He's going crazy the last 5 or 6 weeks. The man has like 10 touchdowns. Another 2 touchdowns tonight for Gus Edwards. 12 carries, 62 yards, 2 touchdowns. Gus Edwards does not, I was talking a couple weeks ago, give Gus the ball. And yeah, I would love to have him to have 19, 20 carries a game. But the thing about Gus is when he touches the ball, he's efficient with the ball. Keaton Mitchell, 8 carries, 33 yards. He had 150 yards against Seattle. And then against Cleveland, he barely got any touches. And everybody was like, well, what happened? Why didn't Keaton Mitchell get the ball? Well, he got touches this game. He got touches. He's explosive. He's quick. He's fast. He can hit the hole very fast. The man is very talented. The Ravens have a nice 1-2 punch. Justice Hill only got 1 carry tonight. You remember early in the season, Justice Hill was getting carries. Justice Hill was getting touches. The more and more Gus Edwards gets those touchdowns, and the more and more Keaton Mitchell looks explosive, Justice Hill hasn't been getting as many carries. But that's okay. That's a good problem to have. Because we know Justice Hill can run the ball if need be. But right now you got 2 hot hands. Just keep giving it to those 2. And Lamar Jackson is always going to be a threat. He's always going to be a threat. Joe Mixon, the Bengals, they gave Joe, you would think the Bengals were winning this game the way Joe Mixon ended with 16 carries. They were giving him the ball. And he had a couple nice run plays. Mind you, the Ravens' run defense has been really good. The Ravens' run defense got tested tonight. They really did, because the Bengals had 136 yards rushing. 4 days ago, Cleveland had 140-some yards plus rushing against the Ravens. The last 2 weeks, the Ravens have been gashed a little bit. They've been gashed. And yeah, Roquan and Patrick Hill are great. Just something to keep an eye on. They won this game, I'm not going to complain. Just something to keep an eye on. The Ravens' run defense the last couple of weeks, over 300 yards of rushing given up. So this is something to be mindful of. But the Ravens' run defense got tested tonight. I love what I saw tonight. OBJ, his first 100-yard game. They were giving OBJ the ball. As you can see here, Odell Beckham had 4 catches, 116 yards, 7 targets tonight. The last 1, 2, 3 games, ever since OBJ birthday, I've noticed that the Ravens have been giving Odell Beckham, or trying to give Odell Beckham the ball. I like it. I like it. Because early on in the year, I was like, okay, what's up with OBJ? He's not, he's getting targets. He's getting targets. He's drawing flags. Okay, cool, you're drawing flags, but he's not getting the kind of targets I'm thinking. He's getting 2 targets, 3 targets early in the year. Last couple of games, he's had 5 or 6 targets. We all know when you put the ball in OBJ's hands, he makes plays. As you can see tonight, 4 catches on 116. 51 yards was his longest play. He got some. Don't get too flashy. Oh, he gets flashy. Okay. You can get flashy when you perform the way you perform. I can never get mad at a person for being too flashy when they can walk the walk and talk the talk. If you can back up what you talk with your play on the field, I can't get mad at you for that. I can't get mad at you for that. If you can back it up, if you can say, hey, I'm the guy, I'm the man, I'm the alpha receiver, and then go out there and put up 100 yards, have at it. Be flashy all you want. You know what I'm saying? Zay Flowers, who was always getting a lot of targets early in the season, he had 4 targets, 3 catches, 43 yards, nice 33-yard bomb. I want to say that came in the first drive. That 33-yard play that he had came in the first drive. And he really didn't do too much after that, but it's cool. They got the win. But I think that 33-yard came on either the first or second. I think it came on the first drive. Because the Ravens got the ball first. Cincinnati, they won the coin toss. They said, nope, we want to give the ball to the Ravens first. And the Ravens lead the league in first quarter offense. The Ravens lead the league in points in the first quarter. And they also lead the league in fewest points given up in the first quarter. So the Ravens do what the Ravens do. They got the ball first. They drove right down. Gus Edwards, Zay Flowers with the long play. Give the ball to Gus Edwards, he scores. They did exactly what they had to do on that first drive. Nelson Aguilar, he ain't really been getting that many targets lately, but he got the one touchdown that matters. He got the Lamar Jackson, I think it was on a third down play. I think Lamar Jackson was going for Isaiah Likely, and one of the Cincinnati defenders ricocheted the ball, and it landed right in Nelson Aguilar's hand, and that man got speed. Nelson Aguilar has speed. He's fast as hell. Once he got that ball with momentum, he's like a track star. No one's catching him. And he took it for 37 yards for a touchdown. Mark Andrews, obviously 2 catches for 23 yards. That came on the first drive because he got hurt on the first drive. But you can see, the very first play of the game, I think it was a play-action play. Lamar Jackson threw to Mark Andrews 14 yards. Mark Andrews was going to be a big focal point in this game. You could tell they was giving the ball. They gave the ball twice to Mark Andrews on that first drive. He was in for a big night. Just the way it was looking, the way they were targeting him, he was in for a big night. Rashad Bateman, 1 catch, 10 yards. He made it count. He got a touchdown. He made it count. Like I said, Rashad Bateman, I love Rashad Bateman. He's personally my favorite receiver on the team. He's my favorite receiver on the team, and it kind of sucks that he gets 1 target, 2 target, 3 target games. Because I actually think he's really talented. I know he stays hurt a lot, but I think he's really talented. But it doesn't matter if you're not going to get that many targets, make the ones that you get count. He only got 2 targets. He got a touchdown. You can't get mad at that. You can't get mad at the man for that. Real quick, and we're going to get to the defense, of course. You know, we always talk about the offense first because the offense is really what matters here. We know how good this defense is, and even though they've given up 53 points in the last 2 games, we know what this defense is. Jamar Chase. Look at Jamar Chase. Look at Jamar Chase's numbers. He is the Bengals' best wide receiver. He only had 2 catches for 12 yards on 7 targets. If I'm not mistaken, let me take a look real fast. If I'm not mistaken, the very first game that the Ravens played against the Bengals this year, he didn't have that many catches either. Let me take a look real fast. That game in September, Jamar Chase only had 5 catches for 31 yards. This game, he only had 2 catches for 12 yards on 7 targets. So in 2 games against the Ravens this year, Jamar Chase has had 7 catches for 43 yards. That's it. He has been a non-factor. I forgot, was it 2021 or 2022? One of the years. He was talking some shit about, he was bragging. Like I said, that one game where Joe Burrow do like for 500 yards. Everybody was talking trash. Ever since then, the Ravens have put clamps on him. He has not been able to do a lot of the things he used to be able to do against the Ravens defense. He's not. The Ravens defense are putting the clamps on him. And the reason why you don't win many games, the reason why the Ravens swept this year is because you held the man to 7 catches in 2 games. And like I said, he's supposed to be your alpha receiver. And that 1 touchdown catch that he got literally came on the last drive with like a minute left to go. He had a touchdown, but that's like a garbage touchdown. That literally came within the last minute of the game. So call it what you may. He technically scored, but he didn't do anything. If you were just being honest. That's the reason why the Ravens won. Let's get into the games. Let's get into the game stats first. Let me pull up the game stats real fast. Here's a synopsis of the game stats. Ravens first downs 22-20, passing first down 10-9, rushing first down. Ravens usually beat every team in rushing first down because the Ravens run the ball better than any team in the league. The Bengals were 2 of 11 on third down. You're not going to win. You're not going to win many games where you only convert 2 first downs the whole game. Ravens 6 of 12, 50%. They both ran about the same amount of plays. The Ravens 405 yards of offense. Bengals didn't even get 300. And once again, just for reference, the first game that they played, the Bengals only had 282 yards of offense. So game one, the Ravens won 27-24. The Bengals had 282 yards of offense. This game, they only had 272 yards of offense. And as I mentioned, the Ravens defense has been putting clamps on them because if you remember in that first game, one of the Bengals touchdowns was a punt return or a kick return. So the Ravens only gave up 17 points on defense, and then 20 tonight. Really, if you want to say 13, because Jamar Chase got that touchdown at the very end of the game. The Ravens defense has been playing phenomenal. Even in the playoff game last year when Tyler Huntley played against Joe Burrow, the Ravens played good defense against them then. The Ravens played good. Let's just take a look at that. Let me pull that up. Ravens-Bengals playoff game. Let's see what the numbers were of that game. Because I'm pretty sure the Ravens played good defense that game too. Let's take a look. The Bengals in that game only had. Look at this. The Bengals in that game. Well, you guys can't see. I'm sorry. The Bengals only had 234 yards of offense in that game, and that was the playoff game that they won. So as I've been saying, the last 3 times the Ravens have played the Bengals, I can make a case that they should have beat them in that playoff game with a backup quarterback. You gave up 234 yards of offense against a healthy Bengals team in that playoff matchup. First game of this year, you only gave up 282 yards of offense to the Bengals, and then this game you gave up 272 yards of offense. Ironically, the one that the Bengals won was the one where they had the least yards. They had 234 yards in the playoff game, and they won that game. The Ravens have not had a 300-yard offensive game against the Ravens, and I don't know how when and how long. So thank you everybody. Thank you. We got our goal of 10 likes. Thank you whoever's in the chat supporting the stream. Thank you for the 10 likes. We reached our goal. Maybe we can hit 15 likes before the podcast is over. But the Ravens have been clamping. Yeah, thank you for the likes. Yeah, Retro Gang, thank you. Thank you for the support. We reached our 10 like goal. I appreciate that. The Ravens have not given up 300 yards to the Bengals at all in the last 3 games. The defense has been clamping them. As I've been saying all season long, the Ravens defense has been their calling card all year. The defense has been more consistent than the offense has. Finally, the offense has been coming around lately, but the defense has always been there. You see what I'm saying? If you can hold the Bengals under 300 yards in 3 consecutive games, you're doing something because they have weapons galore. Even though the Bengals had 136 rushing yards against the Ravens still had 157. The Ravens usually outrush their opponents. I probably want to say the game against the Browns, they probably outrushed us. The Browns did. I didn't even take a look at the Browns score. Let's take a look. Browns probably had more rushing yards than the Ravens that game. Yeah, they did. They had 178 rushing yards, and the Ravens only had 106. That's one of the few times the Ravens get outrushed. One of the few times. You're not gonna beat the Ravens if you can't put up at least 300 yards of offense. Let's get to the defense. I know we talking about defense already, but let me get into the defense. So the defense today had How many sacks do we have against the quarterbacks? We had 5 sacks today. How many almost sacks did we have today? Like, I swear, every time I watch the Ravens, I feel like they're very good at getting pressure to the quarterback, but how many times did they miss the sack? Even in this game, even though they had 5 sacks, they probably could have had 8. It was at least 3 or 4 times I watched where they got past, they blew past the offensive lineman, or they bull rushed Jadeveon Clowney a few times, always Jadeveon Clowney, Adafe Owe one time, Kyle Van Noy one time too. They literally had the quarterback in their grasp, and he just steps up, or he just pushes himself up, and he avoids everything. Imagine if the Ravens could just close out on those sacks a little bit better. This is the only team I've seen in the history of me watching football. I'm talking about the Ravens, of how many almost sacks they should have had. Like, I can't believe how many almost times I'm watching the game like, get his ass, and he just gets away. But then they make up for it on a different occasion, and they suffocate you. It's one of the weirdest things to watch. The Ravens, ironically, I didn't think their pass rush would be a calling card this season, but their pass rush has actually been pretty good. One of the reasons why this defense is so good is because that secondary holds you down in check, but Justin Madubuike, Adafe Owe is coming around, Michael Pierce, Kyle Van Noy, they're pushing the line, or Adafe Owe case, he's using his speed to take advantage of offensive linemen, offensive tackles. The Ravens lead the league in sacks. They just added 5 more sacks to their calling card. The pass rush, the front line has been the Ravens' strength all season on defense. Yeah, the linebackers play good, but the surprise to me, you can make an argument that secondary has been just as good as the defensive line. And then there were talks about them getting in Dominic Sue. If you get him to go along in that, you ain't gonna be able to do nothing. And Dominic Sue is literally a stopgap. You are not running up the middle against that big ass man. I promise you that. If the Ravens add him to an already great lineup that they have, boy oh boy, it's gonna be hard to stop them. But I've been very pleased with the Ravens front line. They have really impressed me, because previous years they would have to blitz to get to the quarterback. This year they don't have to blitz as much. Mike McDonald doesn't even blitz as much. If they said something in the telecast about Joe Burrow when he was in the game, he only got blitzed like on 12% of the plays. When he got injured and the new quarterback came in, the Ravens blitz percentage was like 40%. The Ravens, since they've gotten Mike McDonald as the defensive coordinator, they don't blitz a lot. And that's a different contrasting style to what Wink Martindale was with the Ravens. He would blitz all the time. Zero blitz, leaving Marcus Peters on the island, leaving Marlon Humphrey on the island. And yeah, they can make plays at times, but they also get burnt a lot. They used to get burnt a lot. Mike McDonald's like, you know what? We're not gonna send the house. We're gonna get better at technique, get better at bull rushing, and we're gonna rush our front four. And sometimes we'll disguise blitzes, but we're gonna use our front line and let them do the job. And that way we don't have to bring the whole house. Now he will bring the house. He'll bring a zone blitz. You see Kyle Hamilton coming on the sides. You'll see who else? You'll see Marcus Williams sometimes blitz. Everybody in this defense can blitz, but they don't do it a lot. And that's why this defense is much better than what it was 2 years ago, where they were just blitzing everybody, and then the Ravens would just get burnt in pass coverage. And if you want to be real, when the Bengals were putting up all those yards against the Ravens, it was when the Ravens were running that defense. The Bengals are really good against the blitz. Joe Burrow is really good against the blitz. If you know, ever since the Ravens stopped that philosophy of blitzing, zero blitz, bring the house, we're gonna get his ass, bring the house. Ever since they stopped doing that, Joe Burrow does not go off against the Ravens. He was going off because you were leaving those receivers one-on-one in coverage. Jamar Chase was eating us alive. You change the philosophy, different results happen, and look at the outcomes. The Ravens are a better team than the Bengals in the last 3 matches. And I'm talking about the playoff game as well. The Ravens are a better team than the Bengals. And the defensive philosophy and how they defend them is the reason why. So good for you guys. So, takeaways from this game. Offense looked consistent. They one of their biggest problems with the Ravens offense is they said on the telecast they would always have the lead going into the fourth quarter, but they somehow, some way they found a way to blow the lead. This game, they cut all that shit out. They did what a team is supposed to do when you have a lead in the fourth quarter. You run the football. Run the damn football. The other team has to catch up to you. Don't make it easier for them by passing. Incomplete pass here, incomplete pass there. You stop the clock. How does a comeback even happen? Well, if the clock is constantly running down, that's less time for the other team to come back. When you have incomplete pass here, incomplete pass there, the clock is not moving. You go 3 and out. You punt the ball. You give it up. You give it to them. Now you give them life. Now they feel like they got a chance to come back. The Ravens did a good job in this game. They ran the ball. Gus Edwards, a lot of Gus Edwards, Keaton Mitchell, Lamar Jackson. They ran the ball. They ran time off the clock. On top of the fact they were scoring the ball. That's how you do it. That's how you close the game out. They were in the Cleveland game. They were beating Cleveland in the fourth quarter. You want to keep throwing the ball. You keep throwing the ball. And you're going 3 and out here, or a stale drive here. You give the ball back to them. Now you give them confidence. Okay, y'all clearly don't want to win because y'all want to pass the ball. Now you give us a shot to win. And once you give a team confidence that they can win or come back, now the floodgates is open. You know what I'm saying? So I like how the Ravens close it out this year. Once again, the Ravens are 8-3 this year, and I can make a case they should be 11-0. They literally have had the lead going into the fourth quarter every single game this year. Now, just because you have the lead in every single game this year does not mean you're going to win every game, as we see, because they have 3 losses on the year, and they had a lead going into the fourth quarter each one of those games. I can make a case they should be 11-0. I can make a case that they should even be 10-1. If you want to give credit to the Browns for, because that's the only one I really feel like was a legitimate. They came back and whooped our ass. The Pittsburgh Steelers game should have never even gone down that way. I give that credit to the Ravens as being discombobulated. The Indianapolis game, that was just bad coaching, and you let Gardner Minshew just do whatever he wants. That game shouldn't even been that close. So the Browns game is legitimately the only one where the Ravens really just, I felt like, they just couldn't stop the Browns for some reason. Tackling was an issue. You know what I'm saying? And Deshaun Watson looked like the Clemson version of Deshaun Watson in the championship game against Alabama. Like, he made plays when it mattered. He used his mobility when it mattered. You know what I'm saying? But outside of that, the Ravens should really be 10-1, 11-0. So, a lot of those losses because you don't know how to close out a game in the fourth quarter. So this is a prime example of how you do that. Get the ball to your running backs, even if you want to use Lamar Jackson, just keep the clock moving. Because now that puts more pressure on the other team to have to play catch up. Because now you're not giving them many opportunities to come back because the clock is continuing to roll. Now the pressure and anxiety of having to come back gets greater because that clock, 59, 58, 57, 56, 55. Your anxiety increases more when you see that clock going down. You're down 2 scores and the clock is constantly going down. Oh, every play matters now. Every play is big. But when you are literally throwing the ball, incomplete pass, and the clock is stopping, now that same team is looking, oh, the clock's not moving? Oh, they're literally giving us a chance to win this game. We still got 10 minutes left to go. We only down 2 touchdowns, and they're throwing the ball, and they're not doing anything with it. Bet. Let's make this comeback happen, because now this team is giving us life. As much as I don't like the Steelers, Bill Cowher did it best. Give the ball to Jerome Bettis and just run the clock out. I don't care if I call 15. If I have 15 plays and all 15 are runs, run the damn ball when you got a lead. Keep the clock moving. The Ravens did that. There was no legitimate chance for the Bengals to come back because the Ravens were milking the clock, as they should, as any winning team should do. No one cares about the stats. No one cares about how pretty it looks. We're in the National Football League. It's about wins, especially with this team. It was pretty in 2019 when Lamar won MVP and we were blowing out teams. It was, okay, now how bad can we beat this team? Can we beat them by 40, 45, 30? Who cares about that? With the Ravens, it's about winning football games. Win the damn game. I don't care how cute it looks. I don't care how pretty it looks. Win the damn football game. There's a bigger picture that we have more than just winning by 30 points. We need to get to the playoffs, win a couple games, even get to the Super Bowl. No one cares about pretty numbers. No one cares about pretty stats. Lamar is hungry. OBJ is hungry. The defense is hungry. Patrick Queen is playing for a contract. Patrick Queen is in his 5th year option. Somebody gonna pay him. It's either gonna be the Ravens or somebody else. He has reason to ball out. Justin Madubuike is going to get paid. He has a reason to ball out. There's motivation to this team to play good. Some guys are playing for contracts. Other guys are playing to make their contract worth a damn. Lamar Jackson just got a 5-year, whatever it was, 265, whatever the hell it was. It's a lot of money. Shit, give me 20% of that. Give me 2% of that. You gotta be good. Lamar Jackson's playing for the fact of, you guys just gave me a big contract. I gotta live up to that contract now. You guys just pay me all this damn. So everybody has a reason to play good. Everybody already had. Lamar Jackson already won an MVP. Roquan Smith has already led the league in tackles. OBJ has already won a Super Bowl. OBJ has already put up the pretty fancy stats, the one-handed catches. He's already done all that. The only mission for this team is a Super Bowl, and to win the damn thing, not just get there, but win it. So there's no reason to get all cute. I hate when they get in the fourth quarter, they throwing the ball just to. I get that you gotta keep the offensive flowing, but shit, you trying to win a game, close the bitch out. Let the other team prove that you can beat them. Beat your running game. Okay, we know you're gonna run. Can you stop it though? And if they stop it, they stop it. But you keep the clock moving. Make the coach on the other team use timeouts. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you close out a game. And the Ravens did that tonight. Shout out to the Ravens. You handled business. OBJ first 100-yard game. Joe Burrow, I don't know what his injury status is. Mark Andrews is done for the year, sadly. Everybody was wondering why Keaton Mitchell wasn't used a lot in the Browns game. He was used a lot more in this game. Good job, coach. I want to see even more of him. I don't even think 8 carries and a couple catches does it for me. I need to see Keaton Mitchell touch the ball at least 13 times a game. He's that explosive of a running back. Defense almost sacks, but defense also got sacks as well. I feel like the defense probably should have had like 8 sacks tonight. They got 5. I'm cool with that. Ravens run defense, they were tested. Yeah, you were hitting them off a couple times. You gave up 136 yards. 100-yard rushing against back-to-back weeks. You got to clean that up against the Chargers. I don't know if Steele's in the chat right now, but my homeboy Steele, he's a big Chargers fan. We play them next week. Trust me, it's going to be a lot of trash talk leading up to that game. Trust me, I promise you that. Ravens run defense. I don't think they're going to give up 100 yards to the Chargers. The Chargers aren't even a running team. But we'll see. And, of course, third quarter rushing is a plus. They were running the ball in the third quarter, play action, RPOs, give Gus Edwards the ball. That's a recipe for success with the Ravens. So once again, good job, Ravens. Great win. We got some days to rest because Lamar, like I said, Lamar Jackson looked like he was a little shaken up, a little injured. He said he was good in the post game. He said he was good. But you got some time to rest now because you played on Thursday Night Football. You got some extra time to heal up. And so that's all that matters. Heal up. You got to make a cross country flight to Los Angeles to play the Chargers. But you'll be fresher than the Chargers because the Chargers play on Sunday and then they play again against the Ravens on Sunday night. I think it's Sunday Night Football. I think the Ravens play Sunday Night Football. Let me just double check. I want to say it's Sunday Night Football. Let me just double check. Yeah, so they play Sunday evening. So the Ravens should be real rested. You've got tonight, tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then you play Sunday at night. So the Ravens should be well rested. And then they get a bye week after that. So reality is the Ravens should be in good shape right now. If you can handle your business, and the Chargers are no slouch. Don't get me wrong, but the Ravens play good defense. The Ravens defense travels. So I don't see why the Chargers should give them any fits. But like I said, any given week, you never know. But you get all this days rest. Then you get a bye week before you play the Rams on December 10th. The Ravens are in good shape to close out this year healthy, and you play some good teams. After you play the Rams, you play the Jaguars, 49ers, and Dolphins. Then the Steelers. That's a tough stretch of games. I like the Ravens bye week going into after this Chargers game to heal up and game plan for these teams that you got coming up. If the Ravens got 8 wins, if the Ravens can finish with 11 or 12 wins, I'd be cool with that. Because you got 8 wins, you 8-3 now. If you go 11-6 or 12-5, I'd be cool with that. Because I know they're gonna lose one of these games. They're gonna probably lose a game that they shouldn't lose to. They probably gonna lose to either the Jaguars or the 49ers, is what I see. I don't see them losing to the Chargers. Who the hell does the Rams have? I don't even know who the Rams got. Cooper Kupp not playing, right? He's injured for the season. I don't know what Matthew Stafford looks like. So, really, the Jaguars on December 17th, that's another Sunday night game. And then the 49ers, they're going to be tough. The Dolphins going to be tough too. But that's going to be a revenge game because of that game last year where the Ravens were up by like 21 points. Once again in the fourth quarter, and they were throwing the ball in the fourth quarter. Why the Ravens throw the ball in the fourth quarter when you got a 21-point lead? The reason why the Dolphins came back last year in that game is because the Ravens, Tua made plays, Tyreek Hill made plays, Jalen Waddle made plays, but the Ravens gave the game away. You should not be losing a football game when you have a 21-point lead in the fourth quarter. I remember literally saying that while I'm like, this game's over. I couldn't believe my eyes when I looked at the scoreboard. Oh shit. No, it's not over. 35-14. And you lose that game. Live, what's up, man? So that's a revenge game, but also on the fact that Roquan Smith was not with the Ravens against that Dolphins team. The Ravens defense has been much better since the Ravens got Roquan Smith. I'm looking forward to seeing how the Dolphins attack this Roquan-led offense now. It's gonna be really good to see because you shredded a Ravens team that wasn't the Ravens of now. That's gonna be a really good game when the Ravens and Dolphins play. A really good game. That 49ers game is gonna be tough. It's on Christmas night. It's against a really good defense in the 49ers. I don't know. We could lose that game. This is a road game. Even though the Ravens actually played better on the road this year. Because the Ravens have lost twice at home and one on the road. And so the Ravens actually have been playing better on the road this year. So you never know. They might win that game. You never know. So either way. You play the Chargers. I hope that they win that game. I'm predicting they should win that game. you know, Justin Herbert is good. I don't like the Chargers are weird to me. Like, I don't know. I feel like they always should be a good team, but they don't never be as good as I think they should be. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Will, what's up, man? What's good with you? We are in trouble with our Mark Andrews, OBJ, and Bateman. We are OBJ and Bateman. Well, I agree, but I'll touch on that first one. I just mentioned that I would have said that back in 2021, 2022, when it was Mark Andrews and everybody else. But the thing about it is, you have weapons on this team. The thing about the Ravens is they got to stay healthy. You have weapons. 2021, 2022, cool. Mark Andrews goes out for the rest of the season. Who do you got? Devin Duvernay, James Prochet, Tylen. I mean, you didn't have anything. And that's no disrespect to those guys, but they're not playmakers. This year, you got an OBJ, you got a Rashad Bateman. And yeah, Rashad Bateman don't get a lot of targets this year, but we all know he has a talent. You got Zay Flowers, you got El Aguilar who makes big catches when he needs to. You got a running game that is versatile with Edwards getting you at least 5 yards a pop, and Keith Mitchell, the home run guy. This is not the same kind of trouble I would have said if this happened 2 years ago. They just need to stay healthy from here. If any more major blows like that to any of those names I mentioned, now we're in trouble. But I think they should be good this year, as long as OBJ and Bateman stay healthy. Because I think Zay Flowers is really good in the role he's in, because he plays a lot of slot because of the other receivers. He can play the outside as well, but I think he's much better in the slot because of more room. But either OBJ and Bateman have to step up, or Zay production will become less and less. I agree with that, and that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, I feel like Zay Flowers is the beneficiary of having good receivers around him, and he can use his speed and agility to find an open hole. But I don't think Zay Flowers as a main target that teams focus on, if there's no other option. I don't know if he would thrive in that role, honestly, because of his size and just the fact that people could just hone in on him. Right now, he's pretty good because there's distractions that other teams have to worry about other than Zay Flowers. But please don't let any of the other names go down, because then it's going to be like a real issue. He will get doubled in bracket. Yeah, I agree. Likely can step up big. Yeah, the reason why I'm not concerned, I mean, I am concerned with Mark Andrews. Don't get me wrong, it's Mark freaking Andrews. But the reason why I'm not concerned too much is because, one, Lamar likes throwing the tight ends. The Ravens have a plethora of good tight ends. Charlie Kolar is a well-serviceable second guy in this offense. And then Todd Monken likes to use his tight ends. Look at what he's been doing so far with the Ravens with Mark Andrews. You know, likely hasn't been really like all that involved. But look at Georgia. He loves using his tight ends in Georgia. So we got an offensive caller that likes using his tight ends. We have depth in the tight end position. Yeah, we've lost probably a top 2 or 3 tight end in the league, but I think the Ravens' depth in Lamar like throwing to tight ends, and of course having the receivers is going to open it up for those tight ends. I think we're okay. Kolar is a very serviceable second guy, and likely is a very athletic number one now, I guess. You know, I think likely as a number 2 tight end was a much better option than being the guy, but he's going to have to be. He ain't got a choice now. You know what I'm saying? I agree. But Todd Monken likes to use his tight end weapons. He really does. The one thing I like about him over Greg Roman is that he knows how to use his weapons. You know what I'm saying? Get them the damn ball. Jet sweeps. We only used to see Devin Duvernay get jet sweeps. Now we've seen Zay Flowers. We saw Rashad Bateman get one against the Seattle and get a jet sweep. Like, use your guys. Todd Monken does that. I don't see how Kolar likely won't just fit in. Yeah, it's a big production gap you got to fill with Andrews being gone. But I don't think it's going to be as big a problem. Lamar just needs to. The only problem that you're going to have is because Lamar likes to hone in a lot on tight ends, which is why Mark Andrews always leads the team in targets. Now he's going to have to start looking in other directions now. I'm not saying likely can't get open, but He's gonna have to be looking more to his receivers now. But the Ravens got balance. They got a good passing game. They got a good running game. I don't see what the problem is with this offense. The Ravens didn't have any turnovers tonight. Can you say? Well, they did have technically had a fumble. I guess Mark Andrews played was ruled a fumble, but the Ravens had no turnovers tonight. They won the game. Go fucking figure, right? Go figure. I said this a couple weeks ago. The Ravens' biggest enemy is the Ravens. They can't hold on to the ball. They fumble the ball a lot. Lamar Jackson in general, and this handoff exchange on the RPO. They fumble a lot on those kind of plays. You clean that up, the Ravens are their own nemesis. When they have a clean game like this, they win big. They win big because the defense is so good. If you just don't give the ball to the other team, good Lord, you're gonna make shit happen. Voila! It's an old cliche. Don't turn the ball over. You win football games. What do you know? We've heard that before. We hear it all the time. But with this team specifically, that's true because this defense is really good. Like I said, they should only have 13 points. That little cheap touchdown at the end. Okay, they got their 20. But like I said, in the last 3 matchups against the Bengals, they've held them under 300 yards each game. Go look at the stats. I just ran through this game 272. Last game, 282. The playoff game, 234. This is total yard for the Bengals. A team with Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, no T. Higgins tonight, but still, you got weapons. You still held them under 300 yards against this team. The Ravens defense is legit. That Browns game, yeah. I mean, the Browns game, I don't know what happened in that game. Tackling was just a mess. But we all know the Ravens defense is really good. I agree, but none of physical matchup to keep their box uncrowded. They are, but that's okay. That's okay. You can get very creative with it. We've seen Patrick Ricard being used in versatile ways as a blocker, or as a well, he could play tight end, but you've seen the effect of Patrick Ricard. We can get extra blocking for Lamar Jackson from Patrick Ricard. We know likely he can't block like physically block like Mark Andrews would. It's okay. Patrick Ricard is there for a reason. He's gonna give you that physicalness that the Ravens need. The Ravens have playmakers. I'm not worried about the Ravens. They aren't as physical matchup. You're right about that. But for some reason, I'm not worried about that as much. Because, they was looking kind of a little shaky after the injury. But you've seen towards the end of the first half and the second half, they didn't look that off, even without Mark Andrews. They looked pretty good. Why? Because they were running the ball. You have a balance here. The Ravens, they get in their own way when they become too predictable, as I mentioned earlier. The reason why they blow these fourth quarter leads is because they want to get pass happy. You had the lead. Run the damn ball. Stop giving the other team life. When they're a balanced offense and they play the pass off the run, they're a good team. When Todd Monken calls these running backs number, you have to respect that. So I don't think the Titans have to be physical mismatch when you have to respect the run. You don't have to be physical. You just need to know how to get open, and then likely can get open. And I like what I've seen from Kolar in the preseason. These are tight ends that can get open. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. We could see Vaughn now come up. Yeah, we could. The Ravens usually run 3 tight ends anyway. I don't see why you wouldn't see him. I don't see why you would see Vaughn come up. The Ravens have been running 3 tight ends all year. So yeah, Mark Andrews gone. I don't see why we wouldn't. I mean, I don't really see who else would it be. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I like Roman Runsky. He just never knew when the defense was checkmated and it was time to go for the. Yeah, exactly. I forgot what game it was last year. Whatever game it was with James Prochet. he had the flea flicker or whatever the play was, and James Prochet threw it. I'm like, what is that? Come on, dog. But he's a very good run coordinator. As an offensive coordinator, I do not like. It's already proven he's not that. He got the Ravens to get as much as they could get with that offense. They needed somebody that could develop the passing game. And even though Monken's schemes are still a lot of RPO, there's a lot of more. Lamar Jackson has more freedom to do what he got to do. You know what I'm saying? Like Monk would run too much and eventually get a false start. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But you see the one thing with Tom Monken. Tom Monken is going for the deep shots now. One thing early in the year, I was saying, like, why aren't they taking a lot of deep shots? These last couple games, you've seen, even though they haven't been hitting them much, but you've seen Lamar Jackson going to OBJ. You've seen Lamar Jackson going to Bateman. You know what I'm saying? They're trying the deep shot, and even if you don't convert it, it's just showing the defense that you can do it. So now it's like, okay, we can't load the box up because Lamar Jackson, you never know. Off that play action or RPO, he might flick one over your head. Lamar Jackson got to get better with the accuracy on the flick, but just showing the defense that you can flick it over their heads is a big difference. The reason why the defense was so good tonight, the Bengals didn't even throw the ball deep. If you remember the game, was there once a play where the Bengals chucked the ball deep over the heads? I don't remember seeing one. Jamar Chase definitely didn't have nothing like that. I don't remember seeing too many attempts where the Bengals even tried to throw the ball deep. So now everything's in front of you. It's easy to play defense when everything's in front of you. You're not even trying to throw the ball over the heads. You know? And so that's a big thing. Anyway, let me get out of here. Great win by the Ravens. You did what you had to do. You blew out a division rival. Nice bounce back win from that Cleveland game. Good job there. You got some time to rest up before you play the Chargers now. Then you get the bye week. I'm liking what I'm seeing. I'm liking what is to become. Get fresher. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we have Dominic Sue, as I mentioned earlier. Maybe he's on the team. There's been rumblings that he wants to sign with a team. Maybe Dominic Sue is one of the Ravens by the end of the bye week. You know the Ravens like making moves on their bye week or just doing something. That bye week gives Eric DeCosta a chance to get on the phones with some free agents. And Dominic Sue, you never know. Come that Jaguars game and or that Rams game and Dominic Sue might be a Raven. I mean, of course, he has other options, but he did get on an interview and said that the Ravens did call him, so you never know. Thank you. I appreciate that. Look, I've been watching the Ravens for years now, and I've seen all the Ravens teams for the most part, except the first couple years that they came to Baltimore because I was super young. But I've been watching the Ravens since '98, and you know, there's a lot of seasons where we look really good. We didn't win. There's the 1 year that I didn't even think we were going to win the Super Bowl. We won. You know, and then there's been a couple years after that where we should have did something we didn't. The 14-2 year. You know what I'm saying? The year where Justin Forsett, you know, where we played the Patriots and we was up 14 points twice, we still lost the game. That year we could have maybe done something. You know, it's just part of being a fan. But, you know, one thing I do know is I know what my eyes tell me. And I know what my eyes see. And yeah, that Mark Andrews injury is big. But one thing I know I see, this offense has playmakers now. Yeah, it's a big blow. Am I worried? No, I'm not worried. Had this been 2022, 2021, Mark Andrews out? Yeah, because then you don't have nothing. But this year you have weapons. The rest of the team stay healthy, we're good. And just like you out there, everybody out there, you guys stay healthy. Say, well, there's a virus going around, and I've been hearing people been getting sick from things. So please, more importantly, take care of yourself. Be healthy. Stay cool. Stay calm. Because the one thing we all want to do is cheer for our favorite team. Whether we win or lose, you want to be able to be healthy enough to cheer for your favorite team. So, you know, protect yourselves or whatever's going around here. Because unfortunately, one of my best friends he got the flu, so I've been kind of checking up on him regularly, just to make sure he's all right, because he got a kid. They got sick. The whole house got sick. So please just stay healthy and, you know, keep yourself well. I'm doing my best to do this the same way, because, you know, I ain't trying to get sick or nothing. I'm trying to, you know, and I enjoy doing these podcasts because it gives me a chance to vent and rant and talk about the things that matter to me, and hopefully the things that matter to you, or at least you want to hear what I have to say. So if we could all just keep ourselves healthy, well, in the right frame of mind, right mindset, we'd be good. City John, thank you so much. Jason, thank you so much for being here. I love you all. McFarlane, thank you for being here as well. McFarlane, thank you for subscribing, McFarlane. Everybody, sorry to Fox. I appreciate everybody that came through. One thing that this has told me that has inspired me is I might start doing these podcasts. Right after the Ravens game. Normally I do the podcast, the post game, the next day. But one thing this has taught me is that I might start doing these podcasts right after the game, because one is fresh on my mind. I can talk about the game immediately because I just seen it. Like, everything is there. Like, it's much better than trying to do it the day after when you know what I'm saying. I don't know. I like doing these real time after the game. You know, so yeah, it's a raw reaction. I think my best work has happened tonight because I just watched the game. Like, I didn't sleep on it. And then next week we play on Sunday night as well. So next Sunday we're gonna do a late night stream. It's gonna be another one of these next Sunday. So I think I might start doing these literally right after the game. It's fun, it's fresh, and I can get everything out because I just watched it. You know what I'm saying? So this has kind of inspired me to change up a little bit of how I've been doing things. It's better to do it after the game than I mean, I could do it, and I have been doing it the day after, but I feel like it's better to do it like 20-30 minutes after. So if you guys like this and you guys prefer to see this, please let me know, because we can definitely make that happen. I mean, it doesn't take much for me to put the camera on and start talking. Like, it doesn't require me to any maintenance, anything complicated. Turn the camera on and start talking Ravens. I'm very good at that. So if you guys prefer right after the game, I got you. If you guys prefer the next day, let me know. Anyway, thank you guys for being here. Let me read before I get out of here. Let me read the rest of the comments. You said Roman would not take the deep shot versus cover zero. Exactly. Monken will. Exactly. And that's why Monken is more of an all-around coordinator. I'm going to add you. I like your mindset. Thank you. Can we get a clap it up for Will G, please? City John, thank you. Jason, thank you. Everybody, thank you. This is your boy Recap, and I am out of here for the night. I appreciate y'all. Thank you a lot for making this fun. You know what I'm saying? I had a really good time, and hope you guys did too. You guys have a blessed night. Double R Podcast, we are out, and you guys have a great night. All right, I will see you next time on the next stream, next Raven stream, I should say. Be easy.